Welcome to the Mormon to Medium podcast, where we'll talk about spirituality, the paranormal, religion, and my journey going from Mormon to medium. I'm Nanette and Brad. Thanks for listening. Now let's go have some fun.
Don't be afraid. Close your eyes. There's a moon overhead, but the sun will rise.
Welcome, everyone. This is the Mormon to Medium podcast, and we are so thrilled and excited because that's what you're supposed to say when you start a podcast. I'm so excited to be here.
Really?
Well, look, here's my big thing is I'm excited that we are almost to Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we just finished off Halloween and the Day of the Dead, and this last few months of the year is always so cool. I love the holidays.
Oh, steeped in tradition and family and connectedness. Yeah, we've got a lot going on. I think it's exciting. It's an exciting time of year.
Yeah, and you know, the sad thing is there are so many people out there who associate the holidays with trauma and sadness, or, well, I've got to choose one family or the other, rather than looking at it and going, oh my gosh, I have the opportunity to spend time with family, or I have the opportunity to do this, or just loving, you know, the smell of pumpkin spice and peppermint or whatever. You know what I mean? It's sad when this time of year is depressing for folks. I wish that it wasn't.
Okay, I want to touch on that for a minute because it really is. And it has actually been something that's been really hard for me in our marriage, because I know that Corey's death day is 4 months away when September hits. And so I have his birthday in September. We have Halloween, we have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, and then he dies. So,
well, and you have your anniversary.
Well, and my anniversary is December 23rd.
Yeah.
So I always want to run in December. And we sat down to do the podcast today, and I looked at Brad and I'm like, I can feel it coming. I can feel all of those emotions rushing in. It feels like somebody just flushed the toilet and I'm going around the balls like shit. But holidays can be really, really hard. But I think one thing that you've taught me, Brad, because there's been a lot of times where family can't be here with us, or we've celebrated holidays, just me and you and our little puppa. And what you just said earlier is really important. You celebrate with those that you can celebrate with. And not everyone is at the point where you're at. So just be grateful for the people that you do have around you.
Yeah.
And the friends that you have around you, because not all family is blood.
That's a good point too.
So yeah.
You know, we pick up a lot of people along our journey, right?
We have some of the most wonderful friends. And I've never really had friends until I met you. Like I had acquaintances, but not friends that, you know, if my shirt gets stuck on my shoulders and my boobs are hanging out, I can actually call my friend across the street and be like, help, I can't breathe and I can't get it off.
Okay, so that's a real thing that happened to you, though.
It is.
So Nan is super graceful.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'll let you tell the story because I wasn't home, so I couldn't help you.
Brad was at home. And so when I work, I wear like yoga stuff. And so a lot of my stuff has like the built-in bras. And so very elastic. Okay. And I have big shoulders, and sometimes things get stuck on my shoulders and I can't like pull them up. Like I get stuck. And there've been a lot of times where I've gone into Brad and been like, help me pull this over my head. And he just laughs, but he wasn't at home and this happened.
Well,
and
she's also very flexible.
I literally was just stuck, and I tried for like 10 minutes and couldn't get it off. And at this point I'm starting to have labored breathing, and I'm like, okay, so
she's panicked.
I'm panicking at this point. So I call my neighbor across the street, and she comes running over and she's laughing her ass off as she helps me pull my stuff over my shoulders. And I mean, I'm sitting there with nothing on other than this stuff stuck on me, but she's just laughing her butt off. And those are
You're like, Renee,
friends.
help me. Help me.
She still teases me because sometimes I can be really, really dumb. But It's just me. Yeah. But those are good friends, really, really good friends that you can count on. Like when Brad goes out of town, he's going out of town today. I have a backup husband. I have a couple of them across the street. If something happens or I feel unsafe, I can call them and I know they will come over and help me.
Yeah.
So
We've got great friends and neighbors. It really is remarkable.
Yeah. So remember, not all family is blood. And we have family, quote unquote, that's not blood all over the world that we love so much. So shout out to all of you that we've met in different places all over the world.
Yep. You know who you are.
Yeah. We're super grateful. This is a time to be grateful.
It is. It absolutely is. So, and those who do feel a little bit blue, how do you get through that, Nan? What is your suggestion? And then I know maybe you're like, I don't know. How the hell do I answer when it happens to me? But how would you suggest people get through the holidays when they struggle with them?
You know, sometimes it's just an hour by hour thing or a day-to-day thing. You take baby steps through that kind of stuff. But when you start to feel feelings like that, it's an invitation to heal something. And it's really hard to sit in that. But if you can go inside and remember that gratitude, love, and abundance are all the same vibration, just sit in your gratitude and it'll help shift you out. That's what I've learned to do in the last 10 years because I've had some really, really, really hard years.
Yeah.
And like I said this morning, I can feel it. I can feel Corey's death coming. Got some emotion and I hate it. Absolutely hate that I can feel it, but I'm going to sit in gratitude because I have a lot of love around me. I have a lot of really good people, and that's what's going to get me through. And that's what'll get everyone through. Sit in gratitude, even if it's baby steps of gratitude. Like I got up today and I put my socks on, or I had a really good cup of coffee, or I have a really awesome puppa, or I live in a beautiful home, or I felt the sunshine on my face. Find those little things that you're grateful for so that you can raise your vibration and be able to step out of that grief. But, being without family is a loss and it's a grief and it's to be felt as well. So, but let your family know that you love them as much as you can, even if they're assholes, right?
Well, yes. So you'll always love family. You might not always like them, but yeah, you'll always love them. And it is, to your point, it's super important to let the people who you love know that you love and appreciate them.
Right.
I mean, because you're not guaranteed any extra time ever. No.
And I think that's what one of the biggest lessons that Corey's death taught our family is to stand in that light and to let people know that you love them. It's really good to have good boundaries with people that are the assholes, right? But you can still love them at a distance that keeps you safe. But let everybody know how you feel about them and stand in that gratitude because it does get you through the holidays. And if you get lonely, we're taking in strays. So
Well, and look, here's something that's really interesting. So we just mentioned that we just got through Halloween and Day of the Dead, and we totally sidetracked because that's what we were going to talk about is, hey, let's talk about the Day of the Dead and let's talk about honoring our ancestors today. And somehow we just jump into this other topic.
It was you. You always sidetrack.
Oh, you're going to blame me?
Oh, totally.
Maybe.
But you know what? I want to open it to Day of the Dead with the fact that we were waking up this morning really early and it was still dark. And Brad's grandmother popped through, and I know her because I've seen her before and I've done a reading with Brad before and she's shown up. So I know her by just the look. And she popped in and had a great big huge smile. And I told him, I said, oh, your grandma's here and she's smiling. I said, you need to take time today to get to feel her. And what did you say when we sat down?
Well, so my grandma and I were super close, like really, really close. She was my, if I ever got in a fight with my mom, I would run away to grandma's, right? She just lived down the road. And so I would pack up my overnight bag and I would run away to grandma's and she would just take care of me. And we, always had so much fun together, whether it was just watching TV or a movie or going camping or sitting on the patio and just listening to the birds sing and reading books together. She was...
Well, and she'd walk you to school.
She was amazing. She would, when I was in junior high, she would literally make me breakfast every day before I went to school. I would get up and get ready, and I would walk to grandma's house, and she would have breakfast there for me.
I love grandmas like that.
And then my friend Ryan, who we've talked about. Wow.
It's okay.
And then Ryan would meet me at grandma's, and we'd finish walking the rest of the way to school.
Now, Ryan's one of Brad's really good friends that has passed as well.
So yeah, that's a big memory today.
Yeah. That's what you get for lighting up the altars, mister.
Yeah.
So why would your grandma show up this morning?
So yeah, this is a special time of the year. Obviously, we just finished with Halloween, right? Which is such a cool holiday. It's very non-secular now, but once upon a time, it was a Celtic holiday. You knew that, right, Nan?
I did, but I want you to go back to answer the question why today your grandma would show up.
Well, I'm doing the weave here.
Okay, Donald.
So so there's a couple of things that happens. Grandpa Zeman died Halloween night. November 2nd is grandma's birthday. And that's also part of the Day of the Dead, right? Where we honor our ancestors. And so I was lighting up our altar yesterday. And so in our home, we have an area where we have pictures of our ancestors and our loved ones who have passed. And part of that altar is, we'll put small offerings out, whether it's something that helps us remember them. Like my grandpa, I have one of his bolo ties and a harmonica, and we'll put that out for him. Or, I have a little Shakespeare book for my grandma, just little things like that. Nan has a Mountain Dew for Corey, and it's things that they loved in this life, or things that remind us of them, so we can tell stories about them and we can reminisce and remember them.
When we do that, though, don't you feel them just come in so strong?
Oh, always, every time. And, one of the things with honoring the ancestors like that, and it's a ritual that has taken place in so many different cultures, right? We credit Day of the Dead to the ancient Aztecs, and because that's kind of where that particular portion came from. But there are cultures around the world who do very similar rituals, right? The Chinese do it. The Indians do it. It's Native Americans do it.
Celtics,
it's so prevalent to honor those ancestors because they're part of our team, right? And
but the Western world doesn't do it.
I think that they don't do it maybe in the same manner, but they do it. Because think about this: we have our cemeteries, right? And we have like Memorial Day. And I think that is, the Western concept of doing the same thing. We'd go and put flowers on the graves, right? You go and you'd clean the gravestones every Memorial Day. At least I remember doing that with grandma. We would go and we'd clean the headstones, and we'd take flowers, to honor those ancestors. It's just a little different way of doing it, right? So with the altar and lighting the candles and burning, incense or copal or Palo Santo or sage or whatever you choose to do, and sending those prayers to the ancestors and helping them find their way back to you is kind of the idea of that. But it's something that we do
all year.
Yeah, we basically do it all year. We try to make sure that they are part of our home always. And so when we have, grandkids come over, or even our kids come over, they can look at the pictures and go, okay, now who is this? And I can go, oh, that was my grandpa's mom and dad, or that was my grandma's mom and dad, and that was my grandma's grandma. It's really cool to have some of those photos and things.
Well, and to keep the stories alive too, because you tell the stories and they just live on.
Yeah.
And so it makes them tangible. But we light up our altar all through the year for all the holidays, but for their birthdays, death days, and we'll just do, stuff around the one person's on birthdays and death days, candles and offerings and things, so that we let them know that we haven't forgotten them and we love them and we want them around. We know that they're part of our team, but it strengthens that bond, I think. You tell me what you think, but it strengthens the bond on a day-to-day because they're always a part of us. And when we talk about them all the time, it's as if they're still alive and here with us. I mean, and they are here with us, but we just keep their memory more alive and fresh and tangible.
Yeah. I read something that was similar to the effect that people aren't really dead until you forget about them.
Right.
Because they're always alive in your heart and in your mind and in those stories that live on. And once those stories are gone, that's when someone's dead.
Right. Well, and words are power, right? So those stories are powerful and they go on and on and on. It's like some of the people we met in New Orleans, they're like kids these days don't know their history. They don't know why we do the things that we do right now in our culture. They don't know where the origins come from. And so by keeping, honoring our dead and keeping their stories alive, it reminds the kids growing up where they come from and where their roots are from. And it's so important. You feel her, don't you?
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you a story.
Okay.
Grandma and Grandpa grew up in, the little town of Spanish Fork. It was just a tiny little town at the time. And they, the whole town would go to Payson to these dances because they had a dance hall. And Grandma and her friend were walking to the train, or they might have even just been walking to go to the dance. And Grandpa and his brother were driving, and they pulled up in their little car and said, "Are you going to the dance?" "Yeah, we are." "Well, would you like a ride?" Well, yeah, they didn't want to walk. So of course they accept the ride. Even, here's these two strangers. They don't know who they are, but they get a ride with Grandpa and his brother, to go to the dance. And, they're talking in the back of the car and, in the back seat, a little rumble seat, saying, yeah, when we get there, let's ditch these boys and go have fun. Right. Well, they get there and they just kind of try and ditch them, and Grandma goes to the bathroom and just hides out in the bathroom.
What?
Yep. And when she comes out, Grandpa's standing right there, and he looks at her and goes, "Are you ready to dance yet?"
Oh.
And she said she danced with him, and he was the best dancer, and she just fell in love from that point on. But yeah, it's memories like that and stories that keep them alive. And I would like to think that that's exactly what Grandpa told her when she passed. Are you ready to dance?
Yeah. Now I know where you get your moves from, babe. Brad's a really good dancer.
I'm a cheese ball dancer. Wow, this is an emotional show. I don't know how much of this is going to make it off the cutting room floor.
It's all going on. Every single tiny bit. She's going to make you cry all day, Brad. It's called love.
Yep. Whoa, okay. So when we light up the altar, what stories come to your mind?
Oh, so many. I mean, it just depends on which one we're talking about. Because we've got everybody from cousins to uncles to aunts to grandparents to friends, everyone. And each one has a different story. So it's just, I think these feelings of love that we feel right now about your grandparents, I think we feel them with each story and each person because their essence, their spirit comes right in and it's like, yeah, I remember this. And they surround us with their love. That's a heck of a heavenly hug, if you ask me.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely is. And you think about that and you go, oh my God, I miss them so much. I wish I could just give them a hug, but they're there. They're right here. They're
Always.
with you.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when I lit things up the other day, I'm like, hey, please, ancestors, help, so-and-so in the family. And I put a few different requests out there and you hear the follow-up and you go, wow, okay, thank you for helping. And they're there They're there. You just have to reach out, let them know. I mean, it's a lot of people pray to God, right? And it's really the same idea. You know, just thank your ancestors. They're there for you, just like God is.
Yeah, we're all connected to our source. So it's the same. With the prayers that you had with the ancestors, you had asked them to help certain family members. I remember because last night I had said exactly what you had said, and it kind of freaked you out a little bit.
It was, like the exact verbiage that I said to the ancestors. Nan's like, so-and-so needs to just learn how to do such and such. And I'm like, holy shit. That is the exact thing I said just a couple hours ago when I lit the altar. It was crazy, but it's maybe that's just because we've been together so long and we're so in tune with each other. But
we do finish each other's sentences.
It was, it's surprising sometimes.
I love us.
Me too. So I wanted to point something else out. So Halloween just passed, and what we did this year for Halloween was literally, we watched Harry Potter. we binged it. we binged all the Harry Potter movies. And one of the things that I realized, and it was terrifying when I did, and I pointed this out to Nan, but we'll see what she has to say about it. So if you haven't seen Harry Potter, well, you need to go and watch the series because it's an amazing series. It's special to me because it came out when my kids were little, and I remember reading them the books and then going to see the movies. Anyway, there's a character in Harry Potter named Dolores Umbridge.
Oh my gosh.
And she is by far like the most villainous, horrible person. She's even worse, I think, than, the main evil Lord Voldemort. But I realized why I'm like, oh my God, she's terrifying. I realized why. She is literally a Relief Society president.
She talks just like that. She does with the half-baked smile.
Yeah. Well, hello, students. I'm so happy that you're here, but I really hate you. But she's going to say it with a smile and in a sicky, icky voice, so sweet and nice, even though she's being really horrible.
Like talking down to people, and she's all in pink.
She's like a Mary Kay lady.
Yeah, Brad was like, it would have been really funny if she walked around Hogwarts saying, "Oh, you're so lovely. I'd like to do a photo shoot with you. Can I do your makeup and give you a facial?" And drive a pink Cadillac. But like she wears everything pink, and then she has these plates on the wall that has cats that move around on the plates. But the horrible thing that she does is she punishes the students by making them write, sentences, and as they write the sentence is carved in their flesh. So they don't need ink. It's carved in their flesh. And so they have like these bleeding wounds. And it's horrid.
Yeah, she's an awful woman.
Awful.
But she is literally, I think the lady who played her must have watched like hours of conference talks to be able to nail that character so precisely.
Pretty sure she's Mormon.
Oh my gosh. She just nailed it. Anyway, that was probably the most horrifying thing about our Halloween and our 6 trick-or-treaters that we had.
Yeah, and we give good candy too. Like, what the heck? We never used to get trick-or-treaters in Benjamin because all the houses were so far apart. But like in the city here, you would think.
Well, we don't have a lot of young kids in our neighborhood. You know what I mean? We have a lot of middle-aged people like us.
Parents should be like, yeah, so old people live up on that hill. Like, we should go take our kids to trick-or-treat with old people to make them happy.
Okay, so you've got a really good point there because no one appreciates cute kids dressed up in costumes like grandmas and grandpas.
It's so true.
So take your kids to go trick-or-treat in those neighborhoods that are like senior neighborhoods. They love that. Well, some of them. There's always the grouchy people, but
very few. Most of them are just lonely and want to, interact and see little tiny ones and see the creativity. And
they might give Tootsie Rolls, but you know what? Let them give Tootsie Rolls and then give your kid a candy bar later.
I don't know. We give full-size candy bars.
Well, we do, but not everyone does.
Our neighbors do.
Not everyone does. There are a lot of people who are like, I'm going to give Tootsie Rolls. I'm on a fixed income. This is what you get.
I know.
Or here's a potato. Enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Definitely not on our ridge, though. I think that it is important, especially this time of year, to remember if you could picture like a big spider web and you're in the center of the spider web, it's not a sticky spider web or a scary one, just a web. Everyone that your ripple has ever touched or you've run into, you guys are connected, whether it be, you know, the person at the grocery store, a teacher, a police officer, you know, no matter what, we're all connected. And we should all watch out for each other and show each other respect and love. And there's a lot of upheaval going on, especially with the elections coming around, and
Dude,
lot of
people
fear
are
around that.
crazy. People talk politics and they get crazy. Like you can talk to the most level-headed, amazing person and they start getting into politics and you're like, okay, that shit's crazy. We're going to back off.
Yeah. When in actuality, you should be able to talk about religion or politics or anything and have a civil conversation about it and actually be open to each other's stuff without feeling attacked.
Yeah.
But it's just so angry and so attacking that it shuts people down, but that's what divides us. So hopefully this holiday season we can come together and unite, because we are part of the greatest country in the world. And I challenge anybody that doesn't believe that, go travel the world, because there's some people that have a whole lot less than we do, and we're pretty spoiled. And our founding fathers set us up pretty nicely. So I think that we need to stand back and stand in gratitude, and our nation needs to be grateful and united. So just remember, we're all connected.
Well, and I think that's kind of the key, that we're all connected, and it's even bigger. It's not that our nation needs to be connected and united. The human race needs to be united, and we need to remember our humanity.
Right. Well, and even deeper than that, Z, we need to remember, no matter what color, religion, or anything physical that we are, we're all souls having a human experience. We are all spirits, and we're all energy. And with that, we need to be able to know that not only are we connected with everyone here, but we're connected with everyone on the other side too. So everyone on the other side, all of their experiences and all of their expertise that they have, they can bring forward to us and help us. They're there to help us, but we have to ask. So just remember that you're more powerful than you think, and you're more loved than you can ever even think of.
Yeah. Remember your ancestors, remember your loved ones, and have such a wonderful holiday season.
Yeah. Be grateful. Raises your vibration.
Yep. Hey, thank you everyone for listening. We are grateful for you. And we're grateful for all the people you tell about the show and all the likes and the comments and the reviews that you leave. Please don't be shy. If you haven't left a review, let us know what you think of the show. If you love it, if you hate it, you know, either or. But we love hearing your feedback, and we hope that you have a wonderful week.
And we'll see you
on the other side of the, I just fucked that all up. Wow. Can I have a second take at that?
And we'll see you
on the other side of the veil.